trial of Alexey Pertsev, who was a Tornado Cash developer. He was arrested in August by Dutch authorities after the sanction by OFAC on the Tornado Cash Ethereum address. Alexey was essentially detained and wasn't really given a lot of information on why he's being detained in August, because he contributed code to this project, which does allow people to mix money on chain. This money mixer has been used by North Koreans or by the North Korean regime in order to facilitate its nuclear ambitions. So it basically has come back all the way to the developers here, with Alexey being taken in by Dutch authorities. This is an ongoing case, and yesterday we had a great new update showing that they're trying to get into his laptop and trying to see if he was a user of something called a relay. A relay basically enabled someone to help facilitate the movement of money onto Tornado Cash and get a small fee for doing that. This would help the prosecutors in the case be able to show that, hey, Alexey was actually not only developing this code, but he was actively profiting from helping people to mix money here. Adam, I throw the story up to you. I heard a little slip in there, allegedly. You might be right on that point, because I guess everything is somewhat allegedly when it comes to money laundering. It's a little hard to trace back every dollar since things are so fungible. But I do want to get your point on this whole topic, because it's another step in the trial, which a lot of crypto people should be paying attention to.
Yeah, allegedly is a word that we use a lot. We probably don't use it enough. It's fallen out of parlance. But basically, when you're charged with a crime, then you are alleged to have committed that crime until you are found guilty. At the point that you are found guilty, it is no longer an allegation. It is something else. But until then, it's an allegation. And that often gets confused because, again, like at least in the United States, we're all entitled to a presumption of innocence until we're proven guilty. Now, this is not a case that's going to go down in the United States. And so we may see a different standard applied there. But it's, again, like it's a really sad example of, again, raw technology that can be used for purposes that are both good and bad, that is basically just being assumed by the powers that be that any use of it is bad, or anything that attaches to it that could be bad, that is alleged to be bad, but it hasn't actually proven to be that thing, still warrants this type of thing. And I just think that it stands in sharp contrast, especially to, you know, what we see going on with Sam Bankman-Fried right now. Again, like nominally, he's supposed to have a $250 million bail, in order to get out. We just found out yesterday with new information that was revealed that actually there's a total of $700,000 worth of bonds that have been put up so far to cover that $250 million. And he's been out, communicating, wasn't even banned from using, like different like computer, software and stuff like that, which is totally atypical in a case like this. So again, it's an example of the incredible difference in standards that are applied both in different nations and given the context here, where this person is just pretty much being assumed to be guilty, when really so far we've seen no evidence to prove that. And actually this article here is talking about how they're now in the process of looking to see if there's evidence that supports that he actually did any of the stuff that he's been sitting in jail for now for 3 months. So it's an irritating story, but I'll hand it off to you, Jen.
Yeah, this whole story is worrying to me. The part I zeroed in on was this. The prosecution is hoping to make the case that by steering proposals and votes relating to the decentralized autonomous organization that governed the protocol, Pertsev and others played more than a passive role in tornado operations. I think that this could be a very worrying precedent that's set for decentralized organizations if they're able to make that argument, and very worrying for community members of any decentralized organization that does anything. If you have a governance token and a platform in which you can buy and use and trade that governance token and it's used by malicious actors, are you responsible if you're part of the community? I think this is just a worrying thing that a lot of communities are going to have to face and be careful of. Will?
Yeah, one thing I want to bring up and actually get Zach's take on it is the use of the Tornado Cash token, TORN, which was launched in 2021. TORN token was basically a token that accrued value from being used in the ecosystem, and then also was airdropped to anyone who had used Tornado Cash. The problem with it, of course, is that you've basically linked a monetary instrument into this money launderer, or at least in the eyes of the law, a money laundering mechanism, right? And so you do have some sort of profit connection between it, whether you like it or not. And I think this is going to become a larger and larger part of this whole trial, is the fact that this token does exist and it's on top of it. Zach, I'll throw it to you for a last take, though.
Yeah, my understanding from the hearing was that that was a central point of contention, right? The Torn token, the Porsche that this alleged freedom fighter was driving, that became a key argument that the prosecution put forth there. So I think that the token aspect is something that a lot of teams need to be reckoning with.